This project in particular is one of the largest projects we've done as a company.
It really tested every aspect of me being a superintendent.
From the outside, from what it looked like before we got here to where it looks now, it's just night and day difference.
The fact that it's a very old building, originally built in 1941.
Flipped it upside down and touched every inch of it with new paint, new stain, new parking lot, new lines, new signs, new sidewalks. It really catches the community's eye to where they're like, man, that looks amazing.
It's been wonderful to be associated with this, to kind of have that hubbub and that buzz here in town with people talking about this project.
The reaction of the staff and the patients has been hugely positive.
So this stretched us in a lot of ways, and yet from the beginning to the demo process and uncovering problems we didn't know were problems. The overview for the scope of the project is we took a very large commercial building and essentially gutted it, reconfigured the entire building to fit the needs of two separate businesses, CGN, Financial Advisors, and FHN, which is Flint Hills Neuropsychology.
Our previous space was much too small, but it took us a long time to find the right space to move into. So our wait list had gotten up to about 1,000 people waiting for services, and we literally did not have the space to see them.
Our previous office space, we just outgrew that space. So we had at the end, before we moved in here, we had a lot of desks and a lot of places they shouldn't have been. We were just on top of each other. We really simply didn't have room for all of us to be together. On the CGN side of the building, we wanted it to be open and inviting and comfortable.
We have pretty specialty type of medical practice, and there really wasn't available space in town that met those needs, so we needed a lot of exam rooms to be made, and we needed everything to be ADA compliant because of the medical population we work with.
Biggest design challenge, honestly, was taking two separate businesses with two separate ideas, designs for how they wanted their office spaces to flow, and the color schemes and the flooring schemes and all of that.
It did not come without stress, and it definitely didn't come without problems. You never know what you're going to get once you start breaking down walls and tearing into stuff.
This is an older building, and as such, we hit several speed bumps with the remodel project.
The biggest challenge, I would say, would be some of the things that we ran into during the construction process. When we were, say, cracking the concrete open so that we could put some footings, we would find some interesting things underground with the plumbing. I ended up being a lot of the bearer of bad news. It felt like in this, because we can't see, unfortunately, what's behind the wall or what's under the floor, and so when we do get those things opened up, we get to find those fun surprises.
We had a lot of plumbing issues in the building, so we decided to completely revamp the water system and plumbing system, so that's all brand new, and reran all new electrical. Basically, it's all built on I-beams, so we got all the walls out. We cut almost 28 new windows through brick and cinder block walls to the very specific width and height that we needed in order to place the Manco window systems.
Probably one of our biggest design challenges is making that all mesh, be cohesive, and yet be specific to each business.
The clients that CGN are bringing in, they don't want any sound. They're super private because it's mostly financial advisor. You go to Flint Hills Neuropsychology and they're taking on clients or patients that they're working with. So they do a lot of testing. They wanted everything super quiet, so they weren't hearing room-to-room chatter.
We did pretty much touch every square foot of this property because of the way the owners wanted to complete this space for them.
We have 3 conference rooms downstairs. One's a little bit larger, we use primarily for internal meetings. And then we have a nice mid-sized conference room where most of the client meetings happen. Just having the ability to have kind of those different conference rooms and the space to meet with clients, even if it's not a scheduled meeting, somebody just pops in, we have a place to kind of chat with them.
My favorite feature is this large waiting room that we have. We have families come long distances sometimes, and family members will be waiting sometimes for hours while their family member is having their appointment here, and we wanted just a welcoming, comfortable place where people can wait and maybe even do some work or just be comfortable while they're waiting.
The entire building as a whole tells a story. A couple firefighters had came down and told us about how they remembered in the 80s fighting that actual fire. The entire backside of the property had burnt down. So as we started dropping ceilings and walls, we started to see the fire damage that had happened and had been fixed. When we dug into the parking lot, we found stacked stone footings from the 1800s, early 1900s. We found cisterns, hand-dug wells. The hand-dug well had never been filled in. The rocks were hand-stacked, and all the concrete on the inside was basically smeared on by hand. So you could see the fingerprints in it and stuff. We had to tear it all out, but it was super cool to see that.
Duell was very flexible in working with us and just presenting a menu of options for, how we're going to deal with these challenges and how we can fit those solutions within the budget that we were trying to stay within. I came into this completely unfamiliar with construction or the process of renovating a building or financing a building. They were very patient and good about explaining things and educating me and empowering me through this process as someone that was new to it. We chose Duell based on their reputation in the community and impressed with the quality of the work they had done, and our business partner CGN also had strongly recommended them.
The communication and collaboration with Duell was great throughout. They did a great job. They're very collaborative. They came to us when maybe we met a challenge or some kind of unforeseen circumstance in the project. They would kind of lay out our options and ultimately let us decide. So they were very good in communicating, these are the different ways we can approach this. Yeah, they did a great job. We would definitely recommend using it.
Duell was really wonderful to work with in terms of communication and collaboration. I had phone numbers of the project manager and was in regular contact with the foreman. They were right on top of any needs that we had or any concerns as the project evolved.
Coming together with that emphasis on relationship first has always been something that has been big for me as well. So I've really been able to find a great home here in working with Ben, and he has such a wonderful team that he has surrounded himself with. It's been fun to meet new people, even new friends through working with Ben, and so I've been really appreciative of my time with him here at Duell Construction.
The cool thing about this company is the personal relationships we have with each other and the humbleness that we have together as a whole really bleeds into our day-to-day activity with everybody around us, putting people first and our relationships with our client and the community, and then valuing the process of work and making sure that everybody's happy with the end result.
I was just really encouraged with how we were able to pull this project off, even given the number of different hiccups we ran into throughout the process. So for me, it's encouraging to have tied into a project this big, have it turn out successful. I was very encouraged with how my team, my staff handled the entire project.